Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the October 18th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting to order. The main purpose of tonight's meeting is to review additional items related to the Downtown Transition Affordable Housing Overlay Voluntary Incentive Comprehensive Plan amendments. Before we get on to the agenda items, I'd like to acknowledge our hybrid meeting format. The City of Bothell is providing the option to attend this meeting both in person and virtually by Zoom. For those on Zoom, please note that the chat and Q&A features are not enabled in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Public comment and hearing testimony will be allowed both in person and online with Zoom. Those wishing to comment via Zoom or in written comments were asked to submit an online form by 3 p.m. today. Email was encouraged as well and will be acknowledged. Those in attendance tonight may make comments, and those wishing to comment were asked to indicate their desire to comment on the sign-in sheets. The Imagine Bothell notice, the city's website, and tonight's agenda all provided information to the public for providing comments. Tonight's meeting will be streamed live as well as recorded and available for later viewing on the city's YouTube channel. A call-in number was provided on the meeting agenda for members of the public who wish to call in by phone and listen live to the meeting. For our dial-in callers during staff presentations, staff will make every effort to specify which materials they are referencing verbally so everyone can follow along. At this point, I'd like to take a moment and acknowledge the attendance of tonight's meeting. First, Chair Kiernan is absent and excused, and as Vice Chair, I, Commissioner Curd, will be guiding the procedure of this meeting. When I call your name, please test your microphone. Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Westerbeck?
Here.
Commissioner Robson?
Here.
Commissioner Anders?
Here.
Great. And Commissioner Gustafson is absent and excused. In addition, tonight we have Community Engagement Specialist Sarah Frost, Rebecca Sammy, and Senior Strategic Planner Dave Boyd from Community Development in attendance. Lastly, before we begin, I'd like to reiterate some meeting guidelines for all attendees. Please speak clearly and pause frequently. Please state your name each time before speaking and mute your microphone when not speaking. If you're also streaming the live feed, please turn off the sound as there is a delay. For commissioners, at specific breaks in the presentation, I will be calling on members who wish to speak or ask a question. If you want to speak, please indicate that by raising your hand. This will help avoid the problem with two people speaking at the same time. Identify yourself before you ask a question for the first time, make or second a motion, or participate in debate. And again, please mute your mic when not speaking. All right, the first item on tonight's agenda is public comment for items not on the agenda. The city has accepted visitor comment in writing as well as accepted sign-up sheets for those who wish to speak at tonight's meeting. No written comments were submitted by staff since our last meeting, so we may have individuals in the audience who wish to speak and make public comment. Please note the City of Bothell and I do not tolerate verbal harassment. If you've signed up to speak, I'd welcome you to step up to the podium and click the button to activate the microphone.
We do have one attendee via Zoom.
Okay. Yes, so we have one attendee via Zoom. If you wish to speak on Zoom, please raise your virtual hand. Great. So yes, there are 3 minutes. So identify yourself after you activate the microphone and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. I'll raise my hand when you have about 15 seconds left and then interrupt at the 3-minute mark to ask you to close your comments. We rely on the adopted Bothell City Council protocols, which in Chapter 8.07, Paragraph 1, state speakers will limit their remarks to 3 minutes unless a longer period is permitted by council. No speaker may convey or donate their time for speaking to another speaker. Are there any speakers signed up?
No one has signed up.
Okay. Does anyone wish to speak?
On the thing. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead and please step up to the podium, activate the mic, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Mark Swanson. I moved into Bothell in 1991. I bought a house on West Hill in 1994, and I've had to endure the tragedies that have occurred to Bothell ever since. I've watched, and I finally got off the couch to take action to come down here, and I'd like to point out that Sarah Frost Carson Kurd, Carrie Westerbeck, and I'm certain about Sharon Jones because she doesn't have a Bothell address as a BOPOP member. These people are confirmed urbanists. They have decided to go against our comprehensive plan, and they are still doing so. I've asked you to voluntarily recuse yourselves, as I am tonight. David Boyd, the Downtown Affordable Housing Voluntary Initiative is deficient in process, and I intend to prove it because there's been a conflict of interest amongst the controlling majority of not only this body, but also City Council. I happen to like Sarah Jones. I'm not going to accuse her of anything. Claire Robson is the only person who's ever asked me a question about anything in this body. I have all kinds of people that I know. Have you ever thought the kind of liability you're exposing the city to? I've got people that want to move out of their house that they've lived in for 70 years because of what this body has done. And I love the Drews people, but that should be a variation, a variance, not a citywide thing. Do you think that I didn't get all the sufficient information I needed to provide probable cause to the Snohomish Sheriff's Office to investigate this conflict of interest? You've all been studied and been given a course in the OPMA. What do you suppose a FOIA request for ex parte communications would reveal? I'm asking you guys to stop and reverse yourselves before you really get in trouble. I'm not going to sit here and lay prostrate emotionally in front of you while you've attacked me, my house, my culture, my city, because of some utopian fantasy. Put your hand down, please. Everyone note Carson's not putting his hand down.
That's time, thank you.
Yeah.
Please sit down.
Yeah, 20 seconds too soon, buddy.
Nope, that was 3 minutes on the time. We need to move on in our
You
agenda.
people are in trouble.
Please mute your microphone.
You better
have
hope.
had 3 minutes to speak. Please mute your microphone.
Yes,
We
I
have a
can't tell you,
process to
Dave.
continue.
Please step down.
You too.
Community engagement specialist, do we have any others who wish to speak online? No?
No, we do not.
Thank you so much. Okay, next on our agenda is approval of minutes. We have before us 3 versions of minutes on September 6th, September 20th, and October 4th, 2023. I will first ask if people have had, commissioners have had a chance to review those minutes. They have any comments or questions, or they'd like to make any revisions. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve all minutes as presented in the agenda. Commissioner Jones.
Commissioner Jones, so moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion? I see Commissioner Anders.
I second the motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion before us to approve all 3 minutes as presented before us. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Seeing all in favor, the minutes are approved unanimously. Moving on, we have old business on the Downtown Transition Affordable Housing Overlay, DTAHO, voluntary incentives from the 2015 Comprehensive Plan amendments. And I believe we have Senior Planner Dave Boyd to lead us in these amendments.
Thank you and good evening. I'm going to do I have a very brief presentation to share. So this is just an update, and we do have a couple of actions also for you to take. But this is on the processing of the downtown transition affordable housing overlay voluntary incentives rezone and code amendments, also known as the Drews proposal. Planning Commission made a recommendation and approved findings on July 19th. But since then, as part of the environmental review, there was a requirement to do a traffic concurrency analysis and for the rezone only portion of this. We will also, as part of the SEPA review, be doing a traffic analysis for the code amendments applying to the entire DTAHO area. But we were advised by our legal staff that we should bring this back to Planning Commission, give Planning Commission a chance to review the analysis and reaffirm their recommendation or make modifications to their recommendation as appropriate. So I've included in the packet, in the memo, a potential addition to the findings for you to consider. And then also we will, I've got the findings in a track changes form with some additions just to acknowledge this update meeting, the noticing for it, and the new exhibits that have been presented. So the traffic analysis, the first exhibit, exhibit 120, D121, is the memorandum from the Transpo Group dated October 3rd. Again, it's based just on the rezone, which is why it considers 50 units. The proposal is for 100 units on 4 levels with the voluntary incentives and the additional 2 floors. But without that, we've determined that the parking that they can provide, reasonably provide on the site, would, and without any 50% affordable and roughly 50% of disabled housing units, would still be about what would be required for 2 floors, which would be allowed under the current zoning with just with the rezone, without the code amendments, for a total of 50 units. So that's how this was analyzed. The code amendments will be considered further, or actually that's already ongoing as part of the SEPA analysis, which will be done before this comes to council for a public hearing. Then the city review is in Exhibit D122, which supersedes the email. I got this memo just shortly after the packet was sent out. So up until that point, I just had the email from our traffic reviewer, Wasim Khan, and also I should apologize, I misspelled his name in the memo. It's Khan. And so this memo really supersedes that email and describes the city's review of the Transpo document. And I said before, the SEPA review is ongoing. So the findings revisions include the new meeting date and notification associated with that, the new exhibits, and will include the public testimony received tonight, and a potential new finding. The finding that I put in the memo for your consideration just relates to the transportation analysis that's been done, and cites the section of the Bothell Municipal Code that requires that to be done for rezones. So that could, if Planning Commission wishes to add that finding, we're suggesting it be inserted as finding number 14 and adjust the subsequent numbering. It's not required that Planning Commission add that finding, but you certainly can if you wish. And so in conclusion, I open up for any questions and or comments, consideration of that new finding number 14, and a motion and vote to reaffirm the revised findings. And then after that, next steps will be, we've got a city council study session scheduled for November 14th, a city council public hearing scheduled for December 5th, and potential action scheduled for December 12th. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Commissioner Anders.
This is just a question about one of the attachments, and I wanted to clarify under public, I guess it's page 24 of the packet, attachment 1, under public testimony. It says October 19th, 2023. Is there testimony tomorrow, or was that supposed to be 2022?
That, explain to me again where that was. I'm in the packet now.
It's on page 24 of the packet from tonight, attachment 1, and it's number 18, public testimony.
Yeah, it's a typo. I just want to be able to explain what it should have been. And I'm getting there. 22. Bear with me. I'm not actually seeing that on page 22 of the packet.
It's page 24.
Oh, sorry. 24. Under,
It follows the long list of exhibits,
okay.
and it's item 18.
Oh, okay. Yes, that should be October 19th, 2022. That was the first study
Okay.
session on this. So I will make that.
Okay,
change.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Good catch.
Additionally, I see that should be number 19 because list of exhibits is already number 18.
Yeah, that is actually a change that I've made in the
Oh, in the online.
in the
pack.
revised.
Okay.
And so,
Great.
and I'll pull that up to review as well, because there are a couple of other changes like that. Anything else?
Do any commissioners have feedback or questions about the parking study? It was fairly straightforward. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any commissioners have questions. And I'm not sure because this is old business if we take testimony at this time. I don't believe we do.
No testimony.
Okay.
So you can move on to consideration of that additional finding and
We will do that. Yes. So do commissioners have any questions about the additional finding, which was number 14 in the attachment? If not, I will. Yes, Commissioner Robson.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that I think it's probably important to include as an exhibit because traffic has been such a big concern. So that's my feeling on it.
Commissioner Westerbeck.
I concur. I was going to say, you talked about updating it. I think it should be updated to reflect that the study was done, since we have that report now. An important part of the record. Thanks.
If no other commissioners wish to speak, I'll entertain a motion to amend the findings, conclusions, and recommendations as stated as as changed in tonight's meeting. It's kind of Yes, Commissioner Jones.
I know that's a scary act to follow there, but so I move that we adopt the new specific finding number 14 and then revise the following, the ones that follow afterwards accordingly, and then add the suggested phrases, comprehensive plan, before code amendments in the various sections.
Well phrased. Are there any second? Is there a second? Commissioner Robson.
I'll second that motion.
All right. We have a motion to add specific finding number 14, revise the numbering, and insert comprehensive plan and before code amendments. Okay, we'll take a vote. All commissioners in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Seeing all commissioners in favor, the motion passes unanimously. Senior Planner Boyd, is that what you need?
That's exactly what I need.
Okay.
And I've got those changes in the Word version of the document, and we'll distribute those to Planning Commission tomorrow, if not tonight.
Great. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I can pull them up on screen if you want also, but I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think that we're okay. We'll continue on then, if that's all right. Any reports from staff?
Well, you introduced her, but I did want to more formally introduce our new senior long-range planner, Rebecca Sammy. She's been with us now for a couple of months. Yeah, and so she'll be taking on my senior planner role. And so the last couple of months, we've been working pretty closely together and been bringing her up to speed on different projects, including this one. And I think you're in good hands with her. And would you like to, I didn't prep you for this, but if you'd like to say anything, please do.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the introduction to Dave. I look forward to working with you in the future. And also just kudos to Dave for taking the time and showing me the ropes here at the City of Bothell. So I hope to carry on and pass the torch, get a couple of the projects across the finish line that he's been working on. But other than that, looking forward to working with you all.
On behalf of at least me, probably other commissioners too, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Big shoes to fill, but I think that your experiences will be really helpful to add to the city's staff. So thank you for being here tonight and for showing interest in stepping in. Great. Any other reports from staff?
Well, related to that, December 1st will be my last day. I think I announced that at the last Planning Commission I was here, but at the time I didn't realize that might have, if it wasn't for this, that might have been my last Planning Commission meeting. So I wanted to acknowledge that. You will be receiving an invitation to a retirement party on November 29th. But it's been great working with all of you and very rewarding spending my last 18 and a half years of my career here at Bothell. So I was planning, since this might be my last appearance at a Planning Commission meeting, to suggest that we retire to a local drinking hole afterwards, but I got double booked. I've got a board meeting that's just started at 6 as well, and I'm going to try to jump over to that. So I may come for one of your sessions on the comprehensive plan. So maybe we could do it then, and then there will be the party on November 29th.
So we'd love that. Thank you. Yeah. Also, on behalf of the commission, thank you. Thank you for leading us through so many downtown amendments and visioning processes throughout your tenure here. You have left an indelible legacy on downtown and the city of Bothell, and you should be really proud of all the work that you've accomplished and the legacy that will continue on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Been an
Commissioner Westerbeck.
absolute pleasure since I got to meet you in 2014, and just one word, legend.
Great. Moving on. Oh, Commissioner Anders, please.
Before we move on, please do let me know when the party is so I can make sure that I'm present and ready to send you off to retirement.
Yes.
We will definitely make sure that you all get an email invitation.
Great. All right. Are there any reports from members? Seeing none, but I have one. If people walk through the hallway tonight or the lobby and foyer tonight, you'll see that the city has displays there for lots E, F, and G, and there's which are the gravel parking area right now by Bothell Way and Bothell Way, and there's a temporary activation of those lots, a couple of different scenarios that the city is in, just looking for feedback from the community. There's an online survey that you can take, and it's linked by the city's website. So encouraging people to take that survey and give their feedback on how they'd like to see that lot activated temporarily while it's still a gravel lot. Any other reports from members? If not,
Your report reminded me of one that I missed.
yes, please.
And I wanted to just announce that we're having a comprehensive plan open house on the 26th, the evening of the 26th, and Sarah helped me out with the time and location.
It's at
Skyview
Skyview.
Middle School from 5 to 8 p.m. And the exhibit out in the lobby will be part of the exhibits for people to comment on at that meeting. So,
Great.
and while
Yes.
I've got the floor again out of order, what are they going to do? Fire me? I also meant to update you on some of the other recommendations that you've made that have been put on hold, not for any particular reason other than we've had a lot on our hands. But in particular, the parking reductions recommendations, those are still waiting to go to council. There is some discussion about whether, as we're getting deeper into the comprehensive plan discussion, whether we should potentially introduce what could be confusing in terms of reviewing those specific recommendations when we may also be looking at other recommendations through the comprehensive plan process. But we're working through that, and I'm hopeful that we will move forward on that and then take further steps through the comprehensive plan process. I think that is the only other recommendation that's on hold, but I wanted to fill you in on that as I'm kind of wrapping up my loose ends. Yeah.
Thanks for the update. Well, were there any items to report to council? I didn't hear any from tonight, but anything on anybody's mind? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn perhaps the shortest meeting of the year. Commissioner Robson.
Motion to adjourn, shortest meeting of the year.
Is there a second? Commissioner Westerbeck.
I second the motion to adjourn.
All commissioners in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Hearing all in favor, tonight's meeting is adjourned. Thank you.